Good day, good evening, good morning to everyone, whoever you're joining the DynamicsCon event. It's great to be back again with DynamicsCon. It's my third session with them in DynamicsCon, in which I will be presenting a topic around Power Automate desktop and the robotic process automation that it comes with. Firstly, I would like to thank DynamicsCon again for organizing this event for another time. I think it had been like the fourth consecutive one, and for me, it's the third one. And I really appreciate them giving the platform and opportunity for us to share our experience with people and what we feel can help the community to grow, to learn from our experience and to learn from our understanding of a product. So with that in mind, please feel free to reply over the chat with a comment or post over the LinkedIn that how awesome how awesome the event is going. Any feedback, any comment and question during the whole presentation, please feel free to be asking me over the chat. So with that in mind, let me introduce you myself. My name is Mustajab, and I know my name is a little thing sister, but yeah, it's one name that you can always remember. It's Mustajab. And I'm working as a senior consultant, managing consultant in Vision Assistance Limited. I govern almost 11 years of experience in CE, or formerly known as CRM, delivery and architect. Along with that, I have been delivering these solutions for a more of a digitized era. And with that, I always prefer to learn a lot and to learn a lot what is the best way, DynamicsCon or the Microsoft community. And DynamicsCon has been the place, sharing those knowledge, expertise. And recently, as a personal experience, I was trying to search about Business Central and how that can help me. And you know where I went to? I went to the DynamicsCon video session over the YouTube to search those introductory sessions by the champs of the community. So I believe in caring, and knowledge sharing is one of the best way to care, to show your thanks to the community, to show your way of extending knowledge to the community. So that's how what DynamicsCon is also doing. So feel free to leave a message for them. I'm a father of two boys, and for my time, if I do get it, I like to play games and just watch football. So with that, let me move ahead into today's session agenda. And as you can see here, I try to mention out what the session agenda would be around. It will be introduction about Power Automate Desktop. I know it's pretty much available there, but I will just try to simplify it, try to gather up or summarize that information for you. But just like my case, where I needed that information to understand the possibility how I can use Power Automate Desktop. So this information will be helpful for you. Similarly, I will be explaining a path layout for you, how and where the fields information are there, and also use cases description as well, how we can use Power Automate Desktop in a particular case. After that, a quick revision what we learned today, and after that, a quick tips and tricks that I have learned in my experience with Power Automate Desktop, and a question and answer session at the end. Please, in the meanwhile, if still you have any questions or comments regarding the whole session, feel free to drop me a message over the chat window, and I will love to answer you during the demonstration or after the demonstration ends. So I was talking about today's agenda, and today's agenda would be around an introduction about the Power Automate Desktop, why it's required, where it is needed, also a quick layout of the application, a walkthrough around it, like how we can use the Power Automate Desktop. Also, if I get some time, I would love to demonstrate, and if it's possible for you to have a hands-on session along with me, in which we will demonstrate and see how Power Automate Desktop can be used on a day-to-day basis. And by then, it will be a quick revision of what we learned today, and after that, a quick tips and tricks session in which I will try to explain how this whole Power Automate desktop can be used with the experience that I have gained. After that, in the end, it will be a Q&A session. And in the Q&A session, please feel free, before that, leave a comment in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So with that in mind, let's start off. What is Power Automate Desktop? Now, thinking from the word or the name is Power Automate, a person might think that it's Power Automate or desktop is some of a desktop version, but it's not. Yes, Power Automate is a software as a platform, and so in the case of Power Automate Desktop, it's part of the ecosystem of Power Automate, which extends and gives an option or a functionality on your desktop level. It comes with a built-in AI prompt, Excel management, Windows and Action services, legacy Windows app consumption, cloud-based service REST API or SOAP API, and web extract options. Now, keeping in that mind, if we see from a Power Automate angle, we see that these information are pretty much done in the Power Automate level as well. But when it comes to Power Automate Desktop, they are slightly different compared to the option that we have in Power Automate. And surely, when I will be giving you a landscape walkthrough, it will explain you as well. Now, a question may arise: why do we need, or where do we use this Power Automate Desktop? Now, Power Automate Desktop, aka CAD or RPA, in a generic way, robotic processor, is a low-code, no-code level automation tool that can be used for automation purposes. It free ourselves from the repetitive work that we are doing and we are not aware of it. Like in some cases, for example, if I give you an example of BFSI industry, a lot of those work is being done via Excel import, Excel out, sending it over an email, and so on. So if you keep that in mind, this is a lot of manual work. And here the Power Automate Desktop comes in to do that manual work for you and move you to more critical decision-making tasks. So it's a step into the robotic process automation, and it comes by default in your Windows 11 and onward. So you just need to install it, or if you don't have it, just download it from the Microsoft Dynamics App Stores or Microsoft Dynamics official doc. You will find that details of the URL and try to download it. Also, it's used where integration is not possible or where the systems are legacy systems. I know nowadays a lot of people are planning and looking to move towards digitized world, but still keeping that in mind, we have seen a lot of applications being not able to integrate or being more of a legacy application. So, as I said before, this is not a desktop version of Power Automate, rather a complete Power Automate desktop tool in its own. So now let's answer the three, why do we need Power Automate Desktop? Simple question, am I right? Yes, because whenever a new tool is introduced, a question is being asked, what benefit, or it can be monetary, it can be on a productive level, what value it will add to my process. And if you think from that perspective, it gives us great operational activity, faster processing time, increased data accuracy. Now consider these two key points again. Great operational activity. If I'm doing a day-to-day task over Excel or over maybe just extracting information from a website, I'm immune and I'm possibly can make a mistake. So that mistake can impact my processing time because maybe I have to repeat that work. Overall, even if I don't find that issue, the problem is that the data can have some missing element or maybe incorrect information. And this is something we cannot deny that this is there. Also reduced cost. Think from a perspective. I'm a financial expert. I am a champion, but most of my time is being wasted in some day-to-day or manual activities, which shouldn't be the case. Instead, it should be the case where I would be just focusing on more critical financial decisions rather than just extracting out information from one system, moving it to another system, creating some information around it. So my decision making capabilities should be more on the decision level. What do you think? Do you have anything else in your mind? Yet comment on that. Like, do you feel that there are any additional benefits you see of outcome? Feel free to comment. So it can increase in my knowledge because in the end we are all learning here. Also, it reduces cost and time. For a simple example, a company that has a limited commercial or a limited budget who cannot integrate or plan an integration for their legacy system will always opt for creating a Power Automate desktop version which can be integrated quickly with the available uh, system using a lot of available connectors. So keeping that in mind, it reduces cost as well from time and financial perspective. Now, there are two types of Power Automate desktop. One is called the attendant, the other is called the unattended. And here, why it's mentioned here, because we need to know where we need this automated and unattended action. So, for example, attendant requires a human input. For example, I run a Power Automate desktop and it prompts me when it's opening up a PDF to check if I have entered the credentials correctly. Or maybe take a decision from me that, you know what, I'm not able to locate this file. What's the next action? So these are all attended workflow. Unattended ones are like, well, I don't need any human interaction. For example, I just need to extract information from one system anyway and move that to another system. Or a background job, or something like more of enterprise automation, thinking of bank data from a customer engagement system back to their core application or core system or database. It's again an automation possibility. So unattended and attended are two things that we should keep in mind when we are trying to design the whole ecosystem. So again, where we can use these, as I said before, and I will rephrase that in a sense that we should use it where we feel the manual work is taking a lot of toll from our time, from our employees' time, from our assistants' time. We should prefer to do and use that there. Connect to database where we feel that integration is not available or the default integration is not available. There we can use the Power Automate desktop. So compatibility issues, productivity issues, or financial cases, we can be addressed via Power Automate desktop. So now with that in mind, let's jump into what Power Automate desktop looks like. So I will be stopping my screen here at this point. Please, before I move to the demonstration part, if you have any question, feel free to drop me that question in the chat window, or feel free to, after the session ends, in case if you don't have time, approach me over the LinkedIn and ask me questions. So I will be changing my screen towards the window of a Power Automate desktop. Now you see this is a typical Power Automate desktop window that have my personal environment information. It shows me if I have a premium. The only difference is that the Power Automate desktop, the free version, comes with is not a paid one, where the premium one gives you some additional advantages like scheduling and other opportunities. But rest assured, majority of 90-95% options that are available for Automate desktop are available in the free version. So the information that you see here are pretty much the standard one. And my area of interest had always been the new flow. I'll just click new flow. I will say pad session 1. Now, it will get start creating and will pop up another window in front of me in a couple of seconds. It takes time, maybe sometimes depending on interconnections. Something. So once it gets loaded, it will show you all the information available in Power Automate Desktop. So there are multiple areas and sections in this Power Automate Desktop that are of critical importance and will give added value to your overall action and designing of a Power Automate Desktop. So now you see here at the top, my name of the session came, Power Automate came, and with that, on the left side, I see actions mentioned as the label. It's self-explanatory. And on the right side, these are the variables. Now, all the actions that I see on the left side are in one way or another way responsible to create variables that are called flow variables. I can design input and output variables. This is where I can move these information to my Power Automate cloud flows as well if I want to pass on information from this Power Automate desktop to any other external source. So this is an area you can say where you can sort of plug in your Power Automate flow as well. Now with that, on the left side at the bottom, these are called flow variables. And as I will be doing the hands-on session, I will try to demonstrate it as well, how these information get populated. And now, if you look closely on the left side, you see a lot of actions available. And if you see for a moment, you see a lot of actions that do make sense, and from a perspective that we do a lot of day-to-day tasks, like for example, web automation, okay, web extract, okay, web API consumption. And this part, which I was explaining earlier, where, for example, an organization cannot integrate to an API-based system, can always use Power Automate Desktop to integrate itself. So that's one way to do it and use it on a quick way. Similarly, web data extraction, if I want to extract information from the website, and that's a nominal case, we will be surely covering that. I can use these actions available. And the most important manual work, I feel, in any case of an automation or any digitization project you do, there is always one question. Can I export that to an Excel? Can I import these information to an Excel? In the end, Excel is something I think half of our industry is depending upon. And people do a lot of Excel sheets work, even myself, and when I feel a lot of information or calculation is required of project, big gap analysis is required, I move to Excel in the end. So you see that this is one of the most commonly, I feel, the most manual work is being spent here in the Excel level. But Power Automate Desktop give us all the information or options available, from running to a macro, from deleting an Excel worksheet, to copying, pasting, all the actions that you can think from your perspective as a manual user, they are all available. So please feel free, if you still have any comments or questions regarding this session, feel free to drop that on the chat. And if you don't, just go out and say that how awesome the DynamicsCon is going. So with that, let me move towards our presentation slide again. And in the same slide, I was explaining earlier that these are multiple actions available, like UI automation actions. I just tried to mention it out here. That is, there are three ways to use UI automation: the auto recording option, the manual addition of UI elements, or the predefined web information from the web automation. So you have multiple ways to do that. Now let's do a case demonstration. Consider here is Amanda Jack. She's a quality assurance data entry engineer. She is responsible to do data quality assurance for an ebook selling website that have outsourced, or maybe that have an extended team who is responsible to upload the information or the book information she provides there over the website. Now, if you think from a perspective, she has to do a spot checking maybe once the data is uploaded, or she may have to extract that information manually and try to compare it from her Excel sheet that she provided to the uploaded data. Again, I'm not saying that this can be a simple upload case from the team who's responsible for that, but again, there is a possibility that the old Excel sheet was uploaded or the new one uploaded. We all have heard these all information multiple times. Now, with that in mind, What we will do and what we will be learning today and the key components here is how to open a browser, how to work with that, how do we do a web extract, how we can save that in an Excel sheet. So with that, again, I'm stopping my presentation screen and I will be moving back to the website. So here is a website, as I was explaining, Amanda Jack is a part of. And this website is a simple e-commerce based website that stores or you can buy books from here. Now, as I said, she shared the book information, the amount information, the rating, all the stuff will be managed by user, but he shared this information with the team of her. Now she wants to verify. Now one way is again for checking, okay, you know what, African patterns are 500, Captain Cook was like this, and so on. That's manual way. Or she can do one thing is like, you know what, copy paste or stuff like that. So it's pretty hectic task. Even if I do spot checking, there is a possibility that I may miss a lot of things and maybe a mistake. So what's the quickest way? I know. Excel import, doing a VLOOKUP, doing a comparison of all the columns. That's one quick way, right? How Power Automate Desktop can help? Let's explore that. Now, if I go back again to my other screen, that is web extract here, I will say web. And once it goes, I will see extract data from web page. Now, if I try to drag it here, one thing I would like to show you here is the pop-up window that comes in front of you. Now, remember, there are only three options. Number one, select the parameter in all the available actions. Select the parameter, store the data, and once the store the data is done, third is variable. As I was explaining earlier, every action has an option to create a variable or disable a variable. Again, it's our call. Do we want to enable that variable? Do we want to disable that variable? It depends upon our needs. But now when you see over here, it's asking for me for a web browser instance, which I'm not able to even select as a variable. So it means that this action is dependent upon another action. So in such cases where you see such situation, don't worry about it. So cancel it out here, just like I do. Go back here, search launch. Okay, and once you search launch here, okay, you see you have a lot of options available. So as I'm using Chrome, I'll just add Chrome, and you can use any browser you're liking. Just make sure one thing, if I go back to my browser, you should have a browser extension that is available for all Chrome, Mozilla, and Edge. It should have the Power Automate Desktop extension available. So it's asking me, if you think from a perspective, it's asking me again the static questions. Launch new instance, add to a running instance, what the URL is, how do you want to open the window, and pretty much if you think from a perspective, it's just like asking you humanly questions, like we do. Open a browser, minimize it, open a URL, just open it, or just make it as a default way. So if I go back here and I just copy this URL and try to paste it here, that's the URL I want it to be open. Similarly, in the advanced section, I see a lot of options available, like clear caching, clear cookies, wait for the page to load. Okay, do nothing. Now, if you think from a perspective, again, these are pretty much the standard information. Clear cache means you want to remove all the existing data because nowadays a lot of websites store cache information. We have to be sure, do we want to clear that or do we want to clear those cookies? Wait for the page to load. I would always recommend that if you're doing a web extract. And why I'm saying that? Because if you don't allow the page to load, there is a possibility that the information you're trying to capture is not there over the web browser, and I will show you quickly as well. Similarly, what you will do if a pop-up comes in, add pop-up, any other pop-up comes in, what should you do? You should just press a button, close a button, you have the option available like that. Similarly, you have an option available to time out. If the browser is not responding, the page is not loading, how much time you should wait. You have all the options available. The fourth option, that's an optional option, is called on error. And pretty much when you click on error, each action has its own specific level action. So if you go in the advanced, fail to launch invalid URL. So they have pretty much their own basic errors, which we can say action-based errors. While they have a generic error as well, which is called all errors, where any other type of error will come into this category. So let me go back and I just save that. And once I save that, it will prompt it will not ask me anything. Now going back again to web extract and it's web extract data from web. So I will be just going here at the bottom, trying to drag it here. Give it a sec. Now you see, when I tried it last time, it was not picking up anything. This time around, it automatically picked up the browser variable that is created by my previous flow. It's automatically picked up. But still, if I try to save it, you will see an error coming in. Now, what the error is about? Okay, it says parameter extraction. Parameter cannot be empty. It means in general that what you are provided here, and you can see this icon that highlights where the error is coming. You can just double click here and just do one thing. Go back to the browser that you are opening. And here you see a new window pop up. And with that, you can see it picking up a sort of a tag. Those people who are expert in HTML or who have an extensive background in Angular, any website-based application designing and stuff, they know that these are tags. But for those, the citizen developers, consider that these are just like defining the regions of where the name should come, where should the information will pop up, where the other information will come, like the button will come. These are those tags. So if I go here and I try to select this, right click it, it asks me, what do you want to extract? I would say, you know what? Oh, sorry, I just moved my mouse a lot. So I would say extract, and I would say, you know what, extract family. You see on the left side, it automatically picked up. Now, if I try to select the next one the same way, it automatically picked up everything the first one. So it thought automatically that you are trying to pick up the first name. Similarly, I can go here and then trick the pricing, the value prices, and it will pick up all the prices automatically. Okay, that's what I wanted. I will scroll down. I will see that, you know what? Oh, I have multiple pages available where I can extract this information. So I will say, you know what? I will just go to the next button, right click it, and set element as pager. What this command means, it means that this will be the button that you have to click each time to go to the next page. I can make it 2 as well or 3 as well. But the point is that there is a possibility that they will not exist on all the URLs. What I will do, I will click here, I will select element, and I will set it element as pager. Now with that, I will click finish. And now this time, you see, some new information popped up. Now these new information means that you want to extract all the available information. I said, you know what, give me all, or I can say only first, or I can say any of the pages that I have mentioned. I would say all available. Now it gives another option. Where do you want to store these variables? I say that in an Excel sheet. As I said, Amanda used to provide an Excel sheet and she needs it in an Excel sheet. So let's go with the variable first. But you see, in both cases, when you define a different variable, the type of the variable procedures also change. Again, the input parameter provides the output variable parameters as per the configuration that we select. Not for all actions, but in major actions. So still, do you have any questions, comments, feedback? Please feel free. I know DynamicsCon is awesome, but still, you know what? How about a tweet on that? Or a question on that? The chat window. Please feel free to do that. I will just save it. That's it. Now, I will click the save button here at the right, left, sort of a left, not top left, but left. And it takes some seconds to save it. And one is two. I'll just click OK. And I will start the run button. So here's the pragmatic comes. So what I will be doing here, I will be just waiting here. It will open a window. Here you go. It opened up that particular URL that I entered. Okay. It sort of, because we set it to be normalized, that's why it opened up in a small window. Now, it will take time to wait till all the information gets loaded. Once the information gets loaded, you will start seeing that it will be picking up that information from here. Okay. See, it went automatically to the next button. Similarly, once this is loaded, it will also extend that information from here. So it's taking a quick millisecond to copy all those information depending upon your internet connectivity and copying that quickly and moving ahead. So this way you can see it will go move around to all the pages. Just give it a second or so. It will extract all those information. And I'm just following, I'm just enjoying the robotic process automation here. So with that, once all the pages are there, we can also add a command here once all the pages are loaded or the page information is got, just close that browser instance as well. So I think that's pretty much it. If you copy here now, if I just minimize this window, okay, you see here data is automatically. If I just double click here, the flow variable, it is all that information that I needed. Now, similarly, I can do one thing is that to extract or move this information in an Excel as well. But this time around, I will say just, only the first, just do the first one. And I will say that, just get to the first one and make it sure that it's maximized. Okay, just a second, sorry, this one. And I will say this time, make sure the website is maximized. Closing the old one, running it again. It is loading up. And this time around, you will see that it will just go for the first page. So this is how quickly you can design a simple abstract from web. There are not a single action, there are multiple actions. Please feel free to tag me or comment me over the chat window which other action you foresee, you want to see happening. And you see on the right side, if you just saw the Excel sheet, it already extracted all those information. As I said, we said because just to get the first page, that's why I didn't move to the next one. So I'm just closing this information here and quickly moving back to my slide. Please, so let me just go here. So what we did right now is we learned how to extract from web, limits of extraction, and save it in Excel. And you can see how quickly this can help reduce the overall manual effort that Amanda used to get it, or she have to do it, rather than she can do it via Power Automate desktop on a local basis. That's the beauty of this platform. Now, quick revision, as I said, we just have a quick review in which I demonstrated the exception, the overall web extraction, and a quick way of showing how what and like a high level exception is or an action level exception is, how can we define that. We didn't went into the demo part due to the time constraint, but this can be a topic for my next DynamicsCon. Feel free to comment or give me a suggestion on that, what you want to see next. Now here, I will, before going towards the Q&A session, I would like to have a quick tips and tricks that I would like to share, that each user can have 600 Power Automate desktop, which is quite significant compared to a person on a free level. Can have up to 500 actions per flow. Per flow means like each flow can have 500 actions, and you can call multiple flows, sub flows in a one Power Automate desktop to perform your action. You can add comments in your Power Automate desktop to mark it at start and end of it, just like on the right side I'm showing. You can also have user messages like interactive ones, as I mentioned, more of a user input based Automate desktop, where you can ask the user to input the username, password, or maybe just get the information that, you know what, this action is not working. What should I do next? And also, if this is more of a human interaction. Along with that, keep that in mind because this is a robotic process automation. Be aware when you are getting any sort of a Power Automate desktop. Please be aware that when you're downloading any third party, it's from the App Source verified by Microsoft App Source or recommended by it. Don't go for random Power Automate desktop try to install it. And reason behind is that because it can run a service from your laptop. It can enable Windows Ping services and can run VB script and application as well. So make sure when you do get a third party based Power Automate desktop, you make sure that it's properly verified and just don't go install and run it over your system or even server. That's a critical thing that we have to consider before making any sort of a changes. So with that, I came to an end. The heavy heart, I would say that, I would love to share more Power Automate desktop knowledge, but keeping the time constraint and, looking at the awesome speakers that I'm also willing to hear it out. And I think 40 minutes is enough. I think a feedback from my side, let's increase this 40 minutes DynamicsCon team to an hour because I feel the sharing is still not enough in 40 minutes. We need more time here. But hey, as I say always, low code, pro code unite is the way. And you can see in the Power Automate desktop, there is a combination of both low code, no code, plus the advanced API based consumption and stuff like that. So please, I will be going through your comments here in this, if for any questions. But still, if you you didn't get a chance to post that, please let me know, and I will be discussing live with you as well. So with that, thank you for listening to me. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are doing well and are safe and sound. Where are you are watching the DynamicsCon? So it has been a great DynamicsCon session. I'm looking for a question and answer, but right now I don't see any questions. But regarding any questions, please feel free to question and mention comments. I would love to answer that. And I think don't know questions here. So I think people are really getting good at robotic process automation. I was good in explaining it out. Okay, I can just try to search out any questions on Java. So in case, just a quick, if no one has a comment, so I just would like to take just a couple of minutes and add that, there is a certification coming out. Yesterday, I was reading out that Power Automate certification is available in the beta mode. So I'm pretty excited because finally I have something to, prepare around and show that, I have an automation experience and a certification to just. So that's an exciting thing news that I read yesterday. So, I will be trying to attempt that, and I would suggest everyone who is interested in robotic automation or in Power Automate to attempt that. So with that, I would like to end my presentation. It was nice seeing the rest of the speaker session, especially the new speakers, and I wish a more successful DynamicsCon. Thank you, everyone.